everybody, welcome. Thank you very much for joining. My name is Matthew. We have a special one today here. Let's get right into it. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin versus the pound sterling. And if you see here on the chart, ignore the right axis. I couldn't get that off for now. It's in dollars, but you have basic money in pound sterling on the left axis. All right, it's in British pound sterling, going up to 1,500 billion. That's 1.5 trillion pounds. So this is basically the balance sheet of the Bank of England. They are the issuer of the currency of the pound sterling. Now, if you followed me for a while, you know I try to add clarity to a topic which is usually confusing to many people. They think that somehow banks and central banks around the world have no idea how much money is out there, how it's floating around, how it got there, how it relates to credit cards, whatever. It's not true. The Bank of England, for example, it's the oldest surviving, oldest continuous central bank in the world. I should say the Swedish bank is older, the Riksbank, but they weren't as, they didn't really establish modern central banking like the Bank of England did. So we have their balance sheet actually going back hundreds of years. But I'm starting here only in 2008 from when Bitcoin was launched. That's January 3rd, 2009. I have regressed the data so I can show you every day for when we talk about Bitcoin, but typically this is produced in monthly frequency. They don't go any more detailed than that. Sometimes weekly, but for the main data, it's monthly. All right, so it looks similar to the Federal Reserve, actually. You see they had a QE here, here, and here, and then they didn't really call it this in COVID times, but they had more expansion of the balance sheet, money printing, to spur growth in the economy and a lot of other buzzwords. So this is in sterling, and you see during COVID, it reached a peak of about £1 trillion. All right, £1 trillion sterling was the balance of the Bank of England's balance sheet in early 2022. So what does this mean? Again, this is all of the money that is outstanding issued by the central bank. It's the largest liability item on their balance sheet. It's also called the monetary base. It's comprised of two things. First, cash and coin, the very old and standard types of money that you know and understand. You put it in your wallet, you put it under your mattress. They have pictures of Queen Elizabeth and many other royalty and parliament figures on their notes for cultural and historical reasons. So people trust the currency more. Notes and coins, they are part of the monetary base. But since 2008, and you can see it, and I haven't broken it out, but there's another part of the monetary base, and that's basically every bank in the system, every bank's account with the central bank. Okay? So if I broke it out, you would see that that account, each bank, their master account, it's often called, that they have with the central bank, those are called reserves, bank reserves. You probably heard that term. That's the most base form of money for banks. So we have notes, coins, and reserves. All right, physical currency and this sort of ledger-based currency for banks. Those two things make up the liability side of the Bank of England or any central bank's balance sheet. They make up the monetary base. And because this is the core of the system, the core of the financial system, it's comparable to Bitcoin. All right, Visa, MasterCard, bank cards, they're way up there. They're stacked way higher in the monetary stack. This is the base. This is why it's called base money. Okay, gold and silver were analogous to this in the past, but that's over for now. And Bitcoin is, in my opinion and many people's opinion, whether they know it or not, going to be base money of the future. Okay, so let's look at that today. Here we have, again, the monetary base in pound sterling. Now we can look at the right-hand axis. I'm going to put it in US dollar terms. Okay, so the dollar is typically weaker than sterling. So every time you see an expansion here in sterling, looks sometimes even higher in dollars because the Federal Reserve was also increasing their balance sheet. But this is an exchange rate, so it's going to be different every day. And you can see that if we look at it in dollar terms, the same period where they're at £1 trillion, they're about $1.45 trillion value of the Bank of England's monetary base. Okay, and it's come down from there. And we can see, if we zoom in here, going down towards today, they have been shrinking their balance sheet like most central banks, and that means interest rates will go up as the amount of money in the system goes down. As of end January 2024, 889 billion pounds, or 1.127 trillion dollars worth of base money, pound sterling, held at the Bank of England, or issued and outstanding by the Bank of England in the case of notes and coins. So here we have a unit of comparison now for Bitcoin. And remember, the dollar-based comparison is the line. Actual sterling is the area, the shaded area. Now let's add Bitcoin in dollar terms. We can see that Bitcoin has just chugged along here, working out the kinks, growing adoption slowly. This is the second major boom here in 2017. You can't really even see the first one in 2013. Of course, there were others in 2011. And then a big one with COVID almost took it to par of the Bank of England's balance sheet in dollar terms. I'll go ahead and just take the pounds off. Now we're looking at the right-hand axis, dollars. Okay, this is just Bank of England's balance sheet, the monetary base in dollar terms. Let's zoom in towards today. Again, 1.13 trillion dollars worth of value as of month end January 2024. Bitcoin was lower, but in this month, the month of February, particularly in the last couple days, and this is the current number. I'm recording this on February 29th. This should be aired on March 1st. Bitcoin should be above at least the January number. Now, we can see that the trend is down. We never know what they might do. Maybe they'll want to stave this off a few months and print some sterling to try to beat the Bitcoin value. But Bitcoin has never closed a month end higher than sterling. And we can see, indeed, it's never been higher than sterling until now. So it's very exciting. If you're a Bitcoin fan, if you've been following the protocol for many years, if you've been trying to understand it, this is the oldest fiat currency in the world. And right now, in February 2024, a young 15 years into Bitcoin's life, it has already passed its value. That is the oldest fiat currency in the world, the pound sterling. So I'm going to come back to this a lot because, I'm not saying, of course, that it will stay above the pound sterling. Maybe it will come back down. Maybe it will shoot well above. Let's see. We also need to actually see what the Bank of England themselves posts, and this usually takes a few more days. In COVID, it took even longer. I've been tracking this for many years. Let's give it a couple weeks. But I'm going to be posting more things about this because regardless of if somehow they print a bunch of sterling in the last month and Bitcoin doesn't close above sterling in February, I think that it will. But regardless, this is a remarkable feat for a young protocol that is neutral, decentralized, and truly offers freedom to anybody around the world. If you haven't been paying attention, I really encourage you to do so now, because after sterling, there are only 4 currencies that have a larger value than Bitcoin: the Japanese yen, Chinese yuan, Eurozone euro, and the dollar. There you have it. Let's follow this. I will keep updating you, dear viewer, dear listener, as more information comes out here. But I do believe that we will have a close in February 2024 of the value of the Bitcoin protocol, the value of Bitcoins, the value of UTXOs on the Bitcoin network, base money, digital base money Bitcoin, larger than that of the pound sterling, issued and outstanding by the Bank of England. Let's track it. Let's see how it looks. Thanks for watching.